Hey, surprise! It's time to lighten up with Alicia. Life on the light side, surprise party, pajama party. I'm in my jammies. And, you know, I just decided I didn't get to do our video this afternoon because I was alone in the office. We had some excitement around the campground. Back up, back up, back up, back up. Got to do my intro so in case anybody's here for the first time. This is Life on the Light Side. And what we do is we try to remember no matter what's going on in our lives or in the world, we want to lighten up because angels can fly because they take themselves lightly. So I think we want to take ourselves lightly and we'll feel better and we'll be happier. So we have this little half hour together every weekday where we can enjoy each other's company. Hello, Cheryl. Glad you're there to join me. And I hope anybody else, please know you're welcome to comment. I do like the comments and questions if you have any. I'm just going to put this. I'm a little person and I don't fit very well on the couch. So I need little pillows behind me so I can lean back so I can settle in and lighten up. So anyway, if you like what you see today and you'd like to see more, you can go to YouTube and look up Life on the Light, Lite, Light Side, and Alicia Leslie, and you will find us. So today I wanted to be kind of spontaneous. Like I said, this afternoon I was in the office by myself. Because do you remember our conversation yesterday about trees? Well, I'm in the office and I'm making little angels that I figured I'd put out there for donations for trees. And guess what? Valerie and Donald got a bunch of trees with the money that the camper donated to us, which was so nice. And we can use more. I don't know whether I'm going to put any more, put out the donation jar or not. Um, Depends if Donald and Valerie say it's okay. They are my bosses. And but we shall see. So I was in the office by myself and I did not want to try again to pop in and see if we could lighten up, and just when we'd be halfway to lightened up I'd have to bug out, and then there goes the light. So I decided now today I said I am going to do it. Oh, Cheryl says that's exciting with a little picture of a tree. Now that's very good because the newsletter is coming out. Now, if you are on my friends list or check out my videos very often, you'll see the newsletter when it comes out. I'll try not to forget to the campground newsletter. I'll try not to forget to put it in the comments section the time I do a video after it comes out, but you'll see pictures of the trees that are waiting to go in, and you'll see pictures of those campfire grilled, what is it? Hang on a minute. Loaded potato skins, the recipe I was telling you about. So good, I tell you. So the newsletter is going to be great, and you'll lighten up just by looking at it. I promise you that. All right. So anyway, so I was all by myself in the office and I did not want to have to disrupt everything. So I passed. But then I came home and I said, the video today, and I don't know about tomorrow because tomorrow's the weekend starts. And even though it's only April, we may get some more check-ins. And if you know the reservation calls come in and the people arrive somewhere between 4 and 6 very often. Well, right in the middle of our videos. So we're going to do this day by day and we're going to be spontaneous. Ooh, some people cannot be spontaneous. One of my own kids It's like, no, there has to be a plan. Don't spring on anything on me that I'm not expecting. I'm not prepared. Um, so it's when you're a very spontaneous person like I am, it is hard to not be spontaneous. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but what have we done? We're 5 minutes in already, and I have not done the National Day calendar, not any of it. And I didn't prepare a lot because why? I'm being spontaneous. But I did want to share a couple of things that are on it because I thought they were fun and interesting. And I don't know about you, but I'm having so much fun with this National Day calendar. You know, when you look at each day and you note each day, and like I told you, I put a whole chapter in the book I wrote many years ago from my best friend that every day you should bring it out and, find something as often as you can, every holiday you can, and something to look forward to and enjoy and celebrate. So today is a very important day. It speaks of something that most of us would not want to live without. You know what that is? Today is National Zipper Day. Don't laugh. Think for a few minutes about what would life be like without zippers. You know, on our winter clothes, when we zip up that jacket, there's no way any cold air is going to get in. Not only that, if you got your coat on and your hands are freezing or you got your gloves on and you try to button your buttons, it's just really uncomfortable, painful, annoying, and frustrating. So we give thanks for the zippers. Now, you know, back in the day, guys, this is the truth. Men's pants used to have buttons, not zippers. So can you imagine running to the men's room and having to go and you gotta unbutton all the buttons? Ooh, even women, with the pants without zippers, same thing, and you gotta sit down. So there's so many good things about zippers. I thought I would share a little bit. Um, we take our zippers for granted, and somehow times we have mishaps with zippers, which I'll talk about in a minute. But it was April 29th, 1913, when the first patent was issued for a zipper, but it wasn't called a zipper. It was like a closure. It was called a closure. And then in 1851, there was the inventor of the sewing machine tried to develop a zipper, and he called it an automatic continuous clothing closure. Ooh, that's a mouthful. It's a lot easier to say zipper. Oh, Cheryl has shared that the Amish will not use zippers. Sometimes there's things that make sense about not wanting to get too much into the future. Sometimes you wonder because it's not like they're high tech machines, but you know what? If that is their choice, that is the way they live, we respect that. In 1893, the zipper was introduced at the 1893 World's Fair. Okay. Because we're sitting back and relaxing and enjoying a visit, I'm going to take one of my ventures off to the side and ask you, have you ever gone to a World's Fair? And I would appreciate it if you add comments, even though I can't see them right yet. I'll see them after I'm done with the video. But, as I thought about it, I don't recall hearing about a World's Fair in a very long time. Maybe I've just been so in my head, with what's going on. Of course, there's no World's Fair with COVID, but I don't even remember hearing the words. So if you can enlighten me about when the last one was and where it was, and maybe the reason I remember it is because um, I went to it. That's the only one I ever went to, and there was a big hubbub because it was in America. Here's a little bit of trivia, which you can think about, or you can share, or you can appear to be very wise. I went to the movies to see Captain America when that came out. Do you remember when that came out? Okay, so it opened it with a scene in Queens, New York. And there, this was supposed to be like in the 40s, I believe. It was like in the late 40s, early 50s. Well, there in Queens, New York was a big park, and there was the Unisphere. I don't know if you've ever seen the Unisphere, and it's a great big metal sculpture of the world. Now, most people would not have thought anything strange of that, except for the fact that I know that this movie was taking place at least 10 or more years before the Unisphere was made. Why? How do I know that? Because the Unisphere was made for the 1963-64 World's Fair, and I went. And I have a picture, my ex-husband, standing there with his hands up as if he was holding that Unisphere of the world at the World's Fair. And the World's Fair, by the way, back in 1963-64, is where the Belgian waffle originated. And they had Belgian waffles at Disney on Main Street in Disneyland for many years, and they still say they have some Belgian waffles at Disney. When I saw them when I was there, but they didn't look the same because those Belgian waffles from that World's Fair and after, for a while they were around different kind of things. They were about this big, and they were about that thick, and they were very light and airy, and they had fresh strawberries, powdered sugar, and fresh whipped cream on them. And when you would bite into it, oh, it was so crispy on the outside, and it was soft and moist and bubbly inside, not like a typical waffle. It was more like a combination of the texture of a popover and a waffle. Are ya drooling yet? 'Cause I think I am. Oh, they were so wonderful. Oh, and Cheryl reminds me she was a little bitty baby in 1963. Well, back then, I was already a married lady. I got married the day after I turned 19. Yep, day after I turned 19. I got married. And you know what? I wasn't old enough. Just saying, okay? All right. Um, okay, so this is hilarious. So every time we're going back to the zippers, do you remember the movies about, you probably don't. There were movies about Herbie, and Herbie was a Volkswagen bug. And the bad guy in the movie was called Eric von Zipper, and he was played by Harvey Lembeck, I think. There's a lot of fun in those old movies. They might be corny, but if you can find them, look them up, you'll have a great chuckle. Okay, so this is hilarious. They say how to celebrate this day, and they do it with every day. So for celebrating National Zipper Day, It suggests that you sew a zipper into a garment. To which I respond, not in this lifetime again, if ever. I have sewn zippers in clothing, which is one reason why I don't sew anymore. Now, if Cheryl said Bernie the love bug, no, no, no. Herbie, Herbie the love bug. That was the name of the love bug, was Herbie. How do I know this? Because I used to call my first child, his nickname was Herbie. It was Herbie T. Finkbein. I used to say, Herbie T. Finkbein, my son Sean. And I actually have a little picture of a little boy, a little kind of drawing of a little boy, and I wrote on it, Herbie T. Finkbein. And it was a little boy that was sitting there looking pretty pukey after eating way too much picnic food. Still have it to this day. It's in my treasure chest, you know. Okay, so I would not be actually ever probably found um, sewing a zipper. Just saying. All right, so it was in 1923 that, can you believe it? B.F. Goodrich popularized the word zipper. And to this day, that's what we use. And of course, now the not replacement, because nothing can replace a good zipper. And when I say a good zipper, I mean a good zipper, because not the kind like, those nylon coil zippers, those give me a lot of trouble. And even the zipper, which seems like a regular zipper on my winter coat, if you put it on too quick and you don't have it tucked really in, the little things fit together. You put your coat together and you click it in and then you zip. If you don't click right, you walk out in the cold and all of a sudden your zipper opens up from the bottom. Ever had that experience? It's not a good one. So, love zippers. You're not going to find me ever sewing one into anything. But I used to even have a pair of shoes that zipped up. Not only did they zip up, they looked like saddle shoes. If you remember what saddle shoes were, they were kind of like white shoes with a black band across the top, like a saddle. And not only did I have my zipper saddle shoes, I had ones with what were called snapjacks, and they had a buckle that closed on them. You see, to this day, I still can't tie a bow right. But I'm not changing now, so much for that. All righty, let us move on. Okay, now the next item on the list is National Peace Rose Day. Now, what I decided to do is I'm going to read that to you. So I'm going to not be able to see anything there, but I'm going to read it because I'll try to skim through it, but there was so much good stuff. And I thought, how did this ever slip into history and out of day-to-day knowledge? All right, so today we celebrate the Peace Rose. Each year on April 29th, National Peace Rose Day honors a well-known, not by me, and fruitful garden rose. Well, I guess if I don't grow a flower garden, that's a good reason I would know about it. The light yellow to large cream-colored flowers of the peace rose have slightly flushed crimson petal edges. It is a hybrid tea rose that is hardy, vigorous, and resistant to disease. So if I was going to plant something, that sure sounds like something I should plant. Says French horticulturist Francis Meland developed the peace rose between 1935 and 1939 When Milan foresaw the German invasion of France, to protect the new rose, he sent cuttings to his friends in Italy, Turkey, Germany, and the United States. And it's believed these cuttings were sent to the United States on the last plane available before the German invasion. Each country that received the cutting gave the rose a different name. In France, it was called Madame Mayland in honor of the breeder's mother. Italy named the rose Gioia, meaning joy. Joya, I guess. In Germany, the name of the rose was Gloria Dei, for glory to God. The United States named the rose Peace, and the national flower. Oh my stars, how did I not know this? The national flower of the United States is the rose. I'll be darned. Well, it goes on, and I hope that we certainly think about peace roses. And if you got a garden, maybe it wouldn't be too bad an idea to plant one. Not me. I don't own this property, but wasn't that interesting? I feel so ignorant not to know that the rose was the national flower of the United States. Hmm. We know what the national bird is, right? American eagle, bald eagle. So all you bald guys, you can rejoice in that. And what was I going to say? I do know the name of the flower for the state of Connecticut. And if you're in Connecticut and you don't know it, naughty, naughty, you will in a minute. And if you don't live in Connecticut, but you'd like to see what our state flower looks like, it is so beautiful and it is so unique and so hard not to pick a little. You can't pick it. That's against the rules, against the law, actually. But our state flower is the mountain laurel, and it makes almost like a little pink and white cup with little speckles inside. It is so, so beautiful. So, all right. So that is Peace Rose Day. But other ways you can celebrate peace roses are to think about how they took this one precious thing as the Germans were ready to bust in, and they sent those clippings out so the rose could live. And I think that's just amazing. There's something else that sends out love that I want to share with you. It's an organization that I would like you to write down their name and think about donating to, and that is called Seeds of Peace. It's an organization that's located in upstate New York. It's a big camp, and they bring young people from all over the world to teach them how to make peace, not war. It's a big and long journey, but it's so worth it. If you know me, you know because I've shared it, and I'm going to get ready. I'm going to share it again. Um, every time, you know how they say make a wish on a star? All of my life, all of my 76 almost years, when I see a falling star, my wish is world peace. And just like I talked about tiny things and my tiny house, and then I talked, holding that thought and holding the thought about celebrating every day, and I manifested. I do pray knowing one day world peace will manifest, and I helped, and so can you. One of the things I heard the other day is that we are in for a very difficult period. I know it's astrological, but they're pretty darn accurate sometimes. That there's going to be some configurations. They're called squares and oppositions and stuff. And we could wind up in another time of violence in the coming months. But what she said was the most important thing to do is to be grounded in who you are, to lighten up, to stay on the light side, and you will generate peace and love and prosperity and safety from within you. And through that, you will have a sense of divine protection, not just for you, but for as far and wide as you can send your light. Yep. So, last thing for today, it is Thursday, and Thursday is what? It's story time. I know I did a story the other day for storytelling day, but if you're done, you can always say love you, bye. See you Monday, maybe tomorrow. Slim chance. But I just thought it's Thursday. It's our our tradition we're building. So I thought I would share my story. And today's story is called Frozen Solid. So are you settled in? Are you relaxed? Take a breath, have a sip, have a bite, whatever. How about, what is it, milk and cookies? Hot chocolate. Story time. Paul stood frozen solid, with eyes wide open, so wide you could see the white all around the dark brown iris. It was what some folks might call a deer in the headlights look, because he resembled the phenomena where a deer becomes immobilized when startled by bright lights. This is such a common reflex for him. He came to be called Bambi Boy by his friends and foes alike. Bambi Boy. Oh, how he hated that name and everything it implied. Why? Why can't I just deal with things that take me by surprise? When he was not in the midst of a perceived crisis, Paul was very easygoing, capable, fun, creative, and hardworking. It was just when he was startled by things like confrontation or embarrassment or a pop quiz at school, he froze. Without time to assimilate the details of what was happening, he would feel cornered by the need to make a decision or take action. His brother would say, "Hey, Bambi boy, got a little analysis paralysis going on?" Kind of sounds like my son who can't be spontaneous. Then came the life altering day when he picked up the phone. "Paul, could you please step into my office for a minute?" It was his boss. Adrenaline coursed through his veins as his heart rate skyrocketed. Paul was brought back to the moment by the voice. "Paul, Paul, are you there?" Uh, yes, Mr. Majors, I'll be right in." He tried to relax enough to unfreeze frozen joints and brain and lungs. "Breathe," his mother's voice whispered from the past. This was the one word that had always worked many years ago, but he'd forgotten all about it as it had fallen away when she died. He was the only 12 at the time. Taking a few steps, slow breaths soon dissolved the analysis paralysis. The door to Mr. Major's office awaited. Come in, have a seat." Paul took a deep breath, a slow breath, and did as he was instructed. Mr. Major continued, "Paul, I've been observing your work and your progress lately. I must say you're a bit of a puzzle. I certainly cannot complain about the quality and quantity of your work. I just feel that you're capable of so much more. I could not put my finger on it until I was out by the water cooler the other day and heard someone call you Bambi boy. Paul hung his head, ashamed, and wondered if a pink slip would be put in his hand. Mr. Majors continued, "The minute I heard those words, I got it. When you feel caught off guard, you don't know how to respond, so you don't do or say anything. Am I right?" Paul nodded. "Yes, sir. I've been like that since I was in kindergarten and my teacher pointed out a mistake. I made the mistake in front of the whole class and I can still feel the shame, even talking about it now. And that was 30 years ago, for crying out loud." The frustration in his voice spoke volumes. "I have something I think might help you," Mr. Majors said, handing Paul a piece of paper. "I want you to keep this with you at all times. And whenever something comes up, don't worry about responding immediately. Read this over and then take action." Paul took the paper and read the words. "When you are challenged, number one, ask yourself, what's the worst that could possibly happen? Number two, prepare to accept it if you have to. Number three, then calmly proceed to improve on the worst." Dale Carnegie. How to Stop Worrying and Stop Living. Oh, how to stop worrying and start living. Over the next few weeks, Paul faithfully followed his employer's instructions. What he discovered is that each time it got easier and easier. Soon he found he did not need the paper because he'd not only memorized the words, but assimilated them into his very being. Then on a Friday afternoon, the phone in his office rang. "Paul, Major's here. Can you please come into my office?" Paul breathed deeply and followed his 3-step practice, walking calmly to the office. This time, a big smile crossed Mr. Major's face when their eyes met. "Paul, you won't be needing to come into work on Monday." This sent his heart racing. He wondered if he'd be let go in spite of the changes he tried so hard to make. "Oh, relax, Paul. You'll be reporting to the Dale Carnegie course being held at the Hyatt downtown. You've made so much progress, I want to get you on a management track." And at those words, Bambi Boy ceased to exist. I hope you enjoyed that. And I look forward to seeing you next time, even though I'm not sure when next time will be. Could be tomorrow with a little peek into my treasure chest. Maybe Monday. Who knows? Till then, take care and have a great day.